Hi, my name is Gary. I'm a federal employee, and I saw a YouTube on inserting macros into a document, and I have a question that pertains to my job as an auditor. There are reports that I have to fill out, and they contain several standardized paragraphs and statements that go into every report that I do. I would like to save some time in having to do a macros instead of typing it all out every single time. Can you help me?
Hi, Gary. Thank you so much for sending in such a really good question. There is a solution to this. It's going to take a little bit of work on the initial side to set it up. The technical steps, though, are very easy, I promise. So I'm going to show you the solution I came up with and let me know if it works. Let's go look.
Okay, so we're going to take a look at Gary's question, and I'll show you the solution I came up with. So we have all these little bits of text, and they're going to be pasted into a report in different positions. So the first thing we need to do is create files that contain all these little bits of text. Now, when you're organizing these files, remember, let's say you have 3 sentences. And in one report, those 3 sentences all go together. But in another report, report 2, those 3 sentences are inserted into different positions. Then those are going to go into a separate text file. What we're doing is creating a separate text file, whether it be a sentence, a paragraph, or a whole page of text. It doesn't matter. It's all going to go into a separate text file if it is inserted into your document in a unique place. So we want to create a file directory, and I've created this one called testing under videos, Gary's question, and then testing. And that's where we're going to store our little bits of text. So now let's go to Word, and let's open a document that we can, let's see, Atiba, a curious happy blogger. This is a little blog post that I wrote recently. And we're going to take this. This is going to create our bits of text that we're going to create our macros from. Okay? So let's see. Let's do 3 paragraphs to begin with. Now I'm going to show you 3 different ways to do this because everybody has their own way that they're comfortable. And I'm going to do it in what I consider slowest to a little bit faster and to what I consider the fastest. Okay, so I'm going to select, let's say 3 paragraphs. And I'm going to go up here to copy. And then I'm going to go to File, New Document, Blank Document. And I'm going to go up here to Paste. And it shows this little control box here. You can click on that and choose which formatting you want to have. So we're just going to do it that way. And now we can save it. File, Save As, Browse. Make sure we're in our testing folder. And we're going to name this Test 1. Save it. There we go. And we can close that file now. Now let's take the next. Let's do almost everything. Let's say everything but the very last sentence. Now this time I'm going to show you a way that's a little bit faster. You right click to bring up what's called a context menu. And we hit copy. And there is no way to do new document. For some reason I was thinking we could that way, but we can't. And we can right click again for our context menu and hit paste, and it's going to ask us which way we want to paste. And we're going to save this as test 2. And we can close that one. And now we just have this last sentence left. So we're going to select it, and I'm going to show you the fastest way, in my opinion. I select it, I hit Control C for copy, I hit Control N for new document, I hit Control V for paste, and then I can hit Control S to save. And I'm going to call this one Test 3. In my opinion, if you can learn the keyboard shortcuts, especially copy, paste, cut, save, print, select all, which is Control A, undo, which is Control Z, you will speed through document manipulations, and everybody will think that you're some computer guru. Okay, so now we have all of those saved. Let's go back. And I forgot to close that, so let's close that out. And we can close this one as well. We're done with it. So we have three different things. We want a new document. Now we're going to record our macros. So Control N, View, and then select macros and record a macro. And we're going to name it. Let's name it Test 1 to go after our files, and put a description in here. So this is Gary's question answered. Text 1. And you would fill that in with whatever would help you remember what the macro is for. Here's the other thing you want to look at. Store the macro in document 48. Oh my gosh, I've been on Word a lot today. So if I select document 48, it is only going to save this macro in this document. Since we're doing something so that we can paste text into a bunch of documents, we want to make sure we select all documents. And then we want to create a button. Here is our new macros test 1 that we're working on. So we select that and we add it to the right side. We select it and we want to modify it. Now we're going to modify it because this little icon here is not going to mean anything to us in a month or 6 months when we get around to using this macro again. So let's make it pink, and let's rename the display name Test 1. Now in the display name, you can create it as you would read. So you can put spaces in and whatever. But when you're actually naming the macro itself, you want to make sure there's no spaces. I use underscore because that's an old coder's trick. You can put all of it together with no spaces. You can use a hyphen. You just cannot have spaces in the name. So we hit OK. Now this macro is test 1, so we want to open our test 1 doc. You will be tempted just to come over here and grab test 1. However, what this does is only selects the third most recent document. So in the future, if you select it from this list of recent documents, whatever was the third last document you opened, that's what you're going to copy from, and that's not what we want. So we're going to go ahead and browse our computer, and we're going to video, Gary's question, testing, test 1. We want to select everything, and I'm just going to use the keyboard shortcuts, and I'm going to tell you what they are as I use them. We're going to do Control A to select everything, Control C to copy, and then we want to go back to, sorry about that, we want to go back to switch windows to our new document and Control V. And that is about it. There is one other thing that's very repetitive in this, and let's go back and switch to our test one doc and close it. And now we can stop recording because the macro is done. And if you look up here, we have our pink button with test one, and we can file, save as, browse, makes us always go through this. And let's name this setting up macros and save. All right. So we have that one. Let's set up our macro 2. So again, we're going to record macro. We're going to name this one test 2. It's in all documents, and test 2 text to answer Gary's question. And we're going to create a button. Here's our test 2. We add it over here. We go to modify. And let's make this one blue. Okay. Oops, I forgot to put the name in it. So let's modify again. We're going to put the display name test 2. Okay. And okay. So now we want to go and open. Again, don't fall for the temptation. Go to computer, browse, test 2. And Control A to select all, Control C to copy. And we can just close it at this point because what we copied is in our clipboard and is not dependent upon the document being open. Let's go ahead and close that and hit Control V to paste. And then we can stop recording. And there's our macro 2 sitting up there. So now we want to record the last one. So we go to macro, record macro. And we name this one, you got it, test 3. All documents normal. And let's see, Gary's answer text 3. Cannot typed. Go. And we hit OK. Oh, wait a minute. We didn't create a button. What are we going to do? I'm going to show you how to get out of that in just a minute. But let's go ahead and finish what we're doing. File. Open. Now come over here and grab 3. Go to your computer and browse. I'm going to come up to the document text 3. Hit Control A for select all. Control C to copy. We can go ahead and close this file. And then hit Control V to paste. And we're done. Oh, but we forgot to create the button. So what do? We hit this and we go to More Commands. And we go to Macros. And here's our test 3 right here. So we want to do the same thing. You add it over on the right side. You select it. You hit Modify. And let's make this hunter green. And we put in test 3. So even if you make a mistake, there is a way to get around it. And I'm hoping, I'm trying to show you all the little mistakes I made as I was working out this routine. So I'm hoping we found them all. If you come up with something that doesn't work, just give me a holler and I will help you out. Okay, now we hit OK. And there's our test 3 right there. So let's file, save this again. And close it. Now let's see how this works. We're going to do Control N for a new document. We're going to do test 1, test 2, and test 3. And there we go. Our macros all work like a charm. Gary, that was an excellent, excellent question. I enjoyed working out a procedure to make it work, and I look forward to hearing from you to see if this works in your office. I will talk to everyone later. We'll see you next week. Bye.